August the 25th, 1989 again. Just outside Baker, Oregon. And we're at the Sumpter Valley Railroad and Restoration Facilities here. About 25 miles out of Baker, Oregon. Pieces of equipment, and their one structure here that they've got a Heisler or Climax wood burner inside. This railroad only runs on Saturdays and Sundays from Memorial Day to Labor Day. And this being Friday, nobody's here but me.
Okay, as I said there, Sal, this is Friday and they're not open, so I had gone down to the location there to kind of look over what kind of facilities they had, and not a lot there. The one locomotive's inside. These two 282 Mickeys that are sitting here, 1920 vintage, were originally from this same area, but they had gone up to Alaska and did service there, and then Sumpter Valley purchased them back. They look pretty much like derelicts, but as I talked to the engineer the next morning, they're partially torn down so that they could check these two engines out to see if they would be salvageable. And according to the man, the boilers are good on both of them, and of course they need massive repair work, but the only reason that they're not running now is there's no money. Both of these old 282s here had been working up at White Pass, Alaska, and then they took them out of service and actually pushed them off the rail onto the soil, and they were just left there. You'll notice the cab on one of them is bent. I believe that he told me that when they shoved it off the track at the end of the right-of-way, it was done, I think, with a snowplow or something of that sort, and bent the cab up on the one. They look terribly bad, and one never knows if this little railroad will ever have the money to put them back into condition again, but at least they have them back on their turf.
They stripped the insulation and the sheathing off of the boiler on this one. It's not rusted away as badly, but that doesn't mean much. It's the boiler that counts. Left one of the data plates on it. Data plate again. I just climbed up there and looked at what's left of it. It's an American Locomotive Company, and patented November 1908. On this one, you can see a date of 8/16/1943 on it. Also built by the C.W. Company Limited of Hamilton, Canada.
You look around inside the cab here just briefly, which has been stripped. And now we're looking out on the side of the tender, and you can see there it says White Pass. At the time I didn't know what that was, and later I found out we were talking about Alaska. Out of the reverse gear on it. I had me fooled for a while. I thought these were Baldwin locomotives, being that the data plates were gone. Come to find out they're both American or Alcos, but they have had Baldwin reverse gears installed on them.
Narrow gauge flat cars or freight cars. Here's a tank from one of the tenders.
These shots here are still just scanning around their yard. There's a lot of equipment there I'm not even familiar with, and some things I am, but they have quite a collection of things there. That God knows what some of them are part of them are for.
This is a sweep on down. A little stack down there. More wheels. A winch of some kind, it looks like. There's a steam or sand dome. Bunch of small springs. Here we're looking at a Skinner Engine Company, Erie, PA, USA. Production number 6678. It's what remains of a single cylinder stationary steam engine. Those the wheels there are right near 6 feet. Inside here is the poured casting for the journals of the casting for the bearing surface of the journals on these big flywheels here. Conrod would go in the center there, and here it is right here. And you can see the piston area there. Lubricator, 4-speed lubricator, Mansell. Writing says Mansell, a division of the Frontier Industries Company, Buffalo, New York. Has patents pending, no dates. So I couldn't begin to tell you any more about this old single cylinder stationary motor other than what I've just told you. It's a wheel. These wheels are made by the ASF Company, Granite City, Illinois. They had patents pending August of 1898.
Well, we've seen about what we've got to see here around this yard. It's a bunch of derelict equipment mostly. Pretty low dollar operation. So I'm going to close out here, and we'll come back the next morning.
Maybe like the ones from August the 26th, 1989, and we're at the Sumpter Valley Railroad in Sumpter, just out of Baker, Oregon. We're looking inside their little one-stall shop here. And this is the front drive off their Heisler setting outside.
Right. I always felt that would happen when they got place for people to leave things. You know it was going to be dangerous.
So Heisler here is a wood burner. As you can see, the man stoking it there. Gentleman is the president of the railroad company here. The front drive line was out of it. There's the in the ring gear and pinion in the front. There's a problem, so they've removed the ring gear in the front drive shaft, and it's running only by the rear drive unit at this time. They run four tourist trips a day on Saturdays and Sundays.
Is the gas pump still unlocked in?
Yeah, it is.
I'm going to wipe down these tires.
In my earlier taping yesterday, we taped these two Mickeys here, and at the time I was unsure where they came from. The White Pass is in Alaska, Skagway, I think he said. These two locomotives here were built for the Sumpter Railroad in 1920 and used until 40 when they were shipped to Alaska, and they retired up there, and then they were returned back down here some years back. Now, as derelict as they look, he says they're both restorable. The boilers are good in both of them. It's a matter of dollars and cents that's keeping these two gals here from being on the track now. The one that has the bent up cab, he said, was pushed off of the siding in Alaska by a snowplow. They pushed it right off of the end of the track onto ground, and the snowplow that moved it bent the top of the cab. It didn't tip over or anything. It was just pushed right off the end of the rail and left there.
That qualifies, I guess.
Yeah, I know what you're saying. That's the only other one I knew of.
Yeah.
Of course, the live steamer's a little scale model down there.
Yeah. We want to go down there too, to Malala one weekend.
Gentleman, I think president of it was over here a while back.
Oh.
Chat with him. One more, Benoria? We got a series. Yeah.
We're up there. We've been doing a little traveling out with time.
Cab here of the Heisler. It's a wood burner, and she hasn't began making steam yet. They're still warming her up here. It's probably going to be a bit late this morning. It's 9:15. It's supposed to run at 10. I can hear the water gurgling in it, but it's got a ways to go. You can see the 3-foot long chunks of soft pine or whatever here that they use to fire this old gal.
It all ran down one side, so you always had to come from the other side.
The date on the boiler is 10/20/1914.
Yeah.
Well, you're looking at the Sumpter Valley Railroad here. Gonna get a ride in the cab here shortly. Take you on about a 7-mile round trip here.